The arraignment for a Fresno woman arrested in connection with the death of an 8-year-old boy, J. Love Smith, has been pushed back to July 22nd. 47-year-old Crystal Johnson and her husband, 49-year-old Patrick Johnson, were arrested in April in connection to child abuse that led to the boy's death. Tonight, CBS47 investigates new details that we have obtained exclusively from the Department of Social Services, detailing the death of J. Love Smith. Our investigation reveals there were 75 calls into the child abuse hotline and 2 case investigations into the family before his death. CBS 47 investigative reporter Kara Rucker is asking tough questions and shows us more.
This is the first we're learning about what happened to J. Love Smith, and the department in charge of investigating child abuse is now admitting mistakes were made in this case as we take a hard look at their policies tonight. Each referral on your screen represents one call into the child abuse hotline regarding the home where 8-year-old J. Love Smith lived with his 2 siblings and their guardians. Dozens of documented calls of concern before the young boy died. Documents obtained exclusively from the Department of Social Services confirm J. Love Smith died from blunt force trauma to the abdomen. Ligature marks were found on J. Love's wrists, ankles, and neck. His skin damaged so badly that new tissue couldn't form. A BB pellet lodged in his left thigh, signs of multiple healed fractures. Details from inside the home only surfaced after J. Love died. There were 2 other minors in the home interviewed by Department of Social Services. One of them stated J. Love likes to move when he's being hit with the belt, so Dad ties him up first. On the day J. Love died, a minor who lived in the home told investigators J. Love got a whooping because he was asking for food and that it sounded like a board, then demonstrated by hitting a chair loudly several times.
I hurt for him, I hurt for his family, I hurt for our community. And anytime something like that happens, we go back and we look at not only the particular, what our involvement has been, if there's any improvements we need to make, any adjustments.
We decided to do the same, reaching out to Child Welfare Services Director Tricia Gonzalez. The first investigation in 2016 was the result of a call reporting possible physical abuse. The caller reported during a FaceTime call they heard a loud pop and a minor was crying. The reporting party also says the grandmother who lived with the family told them a minor was pushed to the ground. An assessment stated the abuse risk level was high.
Generally, if it's high or very high, then it's going to be things that we're going to look at. Is there a way to mitigate that risk? So just going deeper.
But no follow-up is documented in the case history.
Is there like a certain protocol that you have to follow with these risk assessments, or is it more of like a guideline?
It's a guideline.
Which means it's up to the social worker's discretion if they decide to go deeper. There is also no record of contact with the grandmother who supposedly knew of the abuse.
And if that person is saying also their grandmother knows about the abuse, it's not protocol to have to talk to the grandma?
It's not, they don't have to, but it's best practice for them to talk to the people who know about it.
Again, up to the social worker. In 2020, a year before J. Love's death, another investigation, this time by a mandated reporter. A mandated reporter could mean a doctor, a police officer, or a teacher. The person reported the minor's right hand was swollen and couldn't see his knuckles. The minor told the school principal he was hit with a hanger. He was absent on Tuesday, but today he was limping and the top of his left foot is black and blue. According to the caseworker's report, the guardian said he is very manipulative and has anger issues, discussing J. Love's behavior. The social worker concludes the allegations of physical abuse is unfounded because the marks and bruises are caused by his behavior and not by his guardians. The abuse risk level drops from high to moderate.
Generally, the risk levels will rise as opposed to fall.
Would you say there is a mistake somewhere in here?
It does seem that there are some inconsistencies for sure.
Inconsistencies that failed to raise a red flag. None of the children living in the home were ever interviewed alone, according to the records.
In both the 2016 report and the 2020 report, we have the guardian asking to be present when the social worker is interviewing the children. And it's allowed for the alleged abuser to be present during those interviews. Is that typical protocol?
So best practice in terms of interviewing kids in front of the alleged perpetrators is not what we like to do.
So that's an answer that I've gotten a few times, where it's, you know, it's best practices to do this, but it's not mandatory. Should we make some of this stuff mandatory?
It's not best practice. It's not what we like to do, but as I've stated, parents have rights.
The social worker has rights too. They are legally allowed to talk to a child at school, or they can obtain a court order. But neither of those happened in J. Love's case.
For us to go get a court order for every situation would just, the courts would not appreciate it.
Another decision that falls on the social worker. The only time the public is able to access the work of child welfare services is after a child dies from the suspected abuse.
We are not done with this story. We will now be involving our local leaders to review the policies meant to protect our children. I'm reporting in studio, Kara Rucker, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.